All right, so today I received a questionnaire from Global Sources, and I just wanted to record this for you. On one hand, it's easier for me, and the other hand, maybe it's more interactive, and the audience could get a better flavor for this. Okay, so my name is Gary Huang. I'm the founder of 80/20 Sourcing, and I work with a lot of e-commerce and Amazon sellers to help them save time and money sourcing from China and also to scale their businesses. And I first got involved in the e-commerce world way back when I lived in the US in 2004 when I worked at Google in Mountain View. I was a contractor in their online AdWords department. And then after that, I delved into selling my own physical products. At that time in the mid 2000s, I was selling on eBay. I had my own site at that time was Yahoo stores, and then I started selling on Amazon. I moved out to Shanghai in 2008, and I've been on the ground in China since then, and I'm still an e-commerce seller. So first question, what's your take on product sampling, buying product samples from China? Is it easy or hard? Does this stage become easier? I think for getting product samples, buying them from China, it really depends on the product. If it's something that is, like a readily available product, I think it can be very easy to just, buy something. For example, if you're looking for like this cup, you can just, search online and get a sample pretty easily. But if you want to make something that's more customized, if you're making a lot of changes to the product, if you're like, changing like the mold or tooling, then it can be very difficult and very time consuming. So the advantage of buying product samples is you get a preview of coming attractions. So in other words, it's kind of like if you're, if you want to hire like an actor, you want to bring them in, of course, for an audition, so you can get a flavor for, how they work, like the quality of, let's say they're acting. And the same thing applies when sourcing from China. You want to get a preview of the supplier's product quality, and not only that, but also their soft skills, their communication, their attention to detail. And I always think if they can't even send a sample to me properly, how can I trust them with a full, complete order, right? So definitely that's the advantage of buying product samples, to get a preview of what the supplier can do. And can buyers skip the product sampling stage? I would not advise it for the reasons I mentioned earlier. Okay, if you do skip it, you're missing out on a lot of things, and it just increases the risk of things going wrong. Is product sampling just for custom designs? No, I would get product samples regardless if it's a readily made product or if it's a custom product, for the reasons I mentioned earlier. A buyer can protect himself when buying samples from China in terms of their IP tooling designs. I can share a story. In the past, I used to source Apple Watch bands, such as the one that I'm wearing on my wrist here, and we had some custom designs. And when I first started, I made this rookie mistake. I actually sent a lot of our custom designs. They were really unique. You did not find them anywhere. I just, blindly sent them with an RFQ onto an online, sourcing platform, and then, I sent them to just like blindly to just suppliers that were listed on there. To my surprise, in less than 24 hours, these same pictures that I sent them, they were posted everywhere on that website. Okay, so they were claiming that they owned these designs. So basically, put it in other words, they could just steal your design. So to protect yourself, I would not reveal anything that is confidential, anything that has like, IP sensitivities that you don't want them to appear all over online sites like Alibaba or Global Sources. I would not send this in the first communication before you get to know a supplier. Only in a later stage would I reveal these designs. This is one of the best ways that you can protect yourself. I mean, in addition, you can sign an NDA, non-disclosure agreement, all these contracts and agreements. But I mean, in China, a lot of times, we just say a contract is just a piece of paper. In China, people do things more based on trust, on relationships and guanxi. If you don't have that trust built up yet, definitely don't give them the secret sauce. Okay. If a buyer gets samples from 3 or more manufacturers, all the samples meet his requirements and he's satisfied with the quality, how does the buyer select the supplier he should partner with? Okay, so the sample is only one part of the complete picture. Okay, not only am I evaluating the supplier samples, I'm also evaluating their pricing, for example. You know, is it low, is it high, is it competitive, does it make sense? I'm evaluating their experience. Do they have experience manufacturing these you know, coffee mugs in ceramic? You know, if they're manufacturing using plastic, you know, they don't have much experience. And if they claim they can do this, I mean, you know, in China, what you see is not necessarily what you get. Okay, so I would evaluate them on their experience. I would look at also their export experience. Have they exported to the marketplace that I'm selling in? For example, in the US, you know, do they have experience in this market? Because each market has different expectations. If they're dealing primarily in the local domestic Chinese market, if you found the supplier on 1688.com, for example, their product quality is probably better suited for the China market and not necessarily for the US market. So there's a lot of differences in the standards. You know, what, you know, in the US, like people may want like a more sturdy cup, whereas this cup that, you know, I got here in China, you know, it's a lot smaller. Yeah, you know, the build could be a lot thinner than what the US wants. So I will look at their export experience as well as their communications. You know, how responsive are they? Are they accommodating to my request for modification? So, you know, you want the complete picture, not just looking at samples alone. Can you share a story of product sampling gone wrong? Okay, I think I shared it earlier with these wash bands. Okay, so to avoid this, don't give away the secret sauce in the very beginning. Okay, build that relationship first, build trust, have an agreement, and even I highly recommend, if you can do this, come to China, visit the factory, sit down with them, meet the owners, meet the salesperson you're dealing with day to day, experience the factory, look at the equipment, the production line, and then, you know, sit down, have a meal with them, have lunch with them, break bread with them, because in China, that's how you really win in business. You really have to build the personal relationship. You know, I call it guanxi. You got to build better relations before you can build better business. Okay, so these are the tips that I would offer you. I know that global sources lets buyers buy product samples instantly. So I encourage buyers to take advantage of this, because global sources does do their own vetting of suppliers. So it can save you some time on this. Of course, you know, don't rely 100% on a third party like global sources. You still have to do your own due diligence, but this could save you a lot of time. It kind of shortcuts the initial part of the sourcing process. In terms of 80/20 sourcing, we offer a free blog, and there's a lot of content on sourcing best practices. I also have an RFQ template that I can offer global sources. If anyone is interested, we'll link up a landing page for that. And we can help buyers with the product sampling stage this way. So we have a product request for a quotation template that you can adapt to what you're looking for. So I think this would save buyers a lot of time and frustration. Okay.